guys, welcome to my first ever poker vlog. My name's Alfred. I've been playing poker for a little over a year. I've been meaning to start a vlog for some time and just thought why not start it in the new year. So I'm currently at Casino Niagara and I'm going to be playing some 1-3. Hopefully the games are good since it is around New Year's. Maybe some tourists are still here from New Year's Eve celebrations and whatnot. But yeah, it looks pretty packed right now. We were like in a lot of traffic in the parking lot. So hopefully there's going to be a lot of action today.
So I buy into the game for $300, and after paying the session fee and folding around a bit, I get dealt King 10 of hearts in the hijack. The under the gun decides to limp for $3, and I raise it to 18. The button, small blind, big blind, and the original limper decide to call. So now we have an overinflated pot with a really marginal hand. But lucky for me, the flop is the king of spades, 8 of hearts, and 9 of hearts. So I have top pair along with a flush draw and a backdoor straight draw. After it's checked to me, I decide to bet half pot here, $40, just to deny equity from possible straight draws and start building a pot in case I do hit my draw. Only the button decides to call. The turn is a 4 of diamonds, which is still a brick, so it's a good card to keep value betting on and keep telling my story of having a really strong hand. I bet around $100 and the button decides to tank call. The river is a 7 of hearts, which is a great card because now the flush comes in and I do block the super nuts, which is 10 jack of hearts. The only things I'm losing to is 5 6 of hearts and an ace high flush. After not much deliberation, I only have around $135 left. I jam it but get snap called. So yeah, he turns over ace jack of hearts, which is so heartbreaking. So yeah, the first hand is just a cooler, unfortunately. Not much we can do there. I decide to rebuy for $300 and not even 5 minutes later, I get dealt pocket tens on the big blind. Under the gun decides to limp, middle position raises to $13 and the cutoff, button, small blind, and I decide to call along with the original limper. I'm not really too keen on 3-betting here since the middle position range is a bit strong. The flop is a 2 of spades, 4 of spades, and a 6 of clubs, so it's a great flop for me since I do have an overpair here. I should be good here a good percentage of the time. The small blind leads for $30, which is pretty confusing. He's betting into 5 other people. I'm not really sure what to do here, so I decide to flat call. The under the gun limper calls, the middle position calls, and the cutoff calls before the button decides to jam for around $200. The small blind quickly folds, and here I'm in a tough position. I'm not really sure what to do. Looking back at it, it's a clear fold simply because the button has all the sets here. He could easily have pocket sixes, pocket fours, pocket deuces. And only things I'm beating are like pocket sevens or pocket eights. But this specific player I've seen do some weird plays where he jams with only 2 overcards or limp re-raises, pocket deuces, and pocket eights. So I sort of just level myself here into a call, which is probably the worst thing I can do. I'm thinking that maybe he does have those pocket sevens or eights or nines that they just show up with. But unfortunately for me, everyone behind me folds and he turns over 5-3 of spades. So yeah, that's not good. He has a straight already and a redraw to a flush. So yeah, it's not really the run out, and I'm going to need runner here. So the turn comes the king of spades. So I actually only need one more spade to win the pot. Granted that it's not the ace of spades or the 6 of spades because that would give him a straight flush. But no, the river is just a complete brick. So yeah, not even 5 minutes later, I just lose another bullet, which is very unfortunate. So after making that horrendous call with pocket tens, I'm not even tilted here. I'm just super demoralized after losing $600 and playing 2 hands. I buy in for $300 more and I don't really get involved in much hands. But my stack is bleeding since every half an hour we do have to pay a $7 session fee. After a little bit, I get dealt ace-king offsuit in the cutoff. The middle position decides to limp along with the low jack, and I raise it to $25. The small blind decides to 3-bet me to $75. So I have 2 options here after the limpers fold. I can either call, play this hand in position and see a flop, or I can just jam it here. I decided to jam it because after you're stuck $600, you kind of don't want to play any flops and just want to win as much money as you can pre-flop. And after that, he snap calls, which is not good. I turn over my hand and he says to me, "You have 7%." And I'm just like, oh no. So The flop comes all low cards. I'm not really sure what, I can't even remember. And he turns over two black aces. So yeah, I get pretty much wrecked there for my third bullet. And yeah, oh, it was terrible. So after losing $900 in only three hands, I just step away from the game. I go out for a walk, play on the video game consoles for a bit, and have dinner with a friend where I watch the Raptors game. At this point, I'm just trying to get myself in a level-headed space where I can play the best poker I can, because I'm not even that tilted. At this point, I'm just flat out depressed because I'm just wondering, how did this even happen? I haven't been here for more than 2 hours and I'm already stuck $900. So I talked to my friends a bit, and after calming down a bit, I buy in for $300 more. The first interesting hand comes when I get dealt Ace King of Hearts and Under the Gun +1. I raise it to $13 and the middle position and cutoff call. The flop comes Seven of Spades, Four of Spades, and Queen of Hearts. So I don't really connect well with this board, so I decide to just check it. The middle position checks it to the cutoff, who bets $15. Since it's such a small bet and I'm getting a good price, I decide to call with my backdoor equity. I can hit an ace, king, backdoor hearts, and backdoor straight to give me the best hand. But I quickly realize I'm pretty far behind after the middle position calls. The turn is the eight of clubs, so I decide to just check it again and give up, and it checks through. The river is a 10 of hearts. I'm not going to try and bluff this after both the middle position and cutoff already showed interest in this pot. So I check it over to the middle position, who bets $25. The cutoff snap calls and I fold. The cutoff shows two pair, 7-10 suited, and the middle position shows queen jack off. So it just shows you how wide people are actually calling you. The next interesting hand I get dealt is the king eight of clubs in a small blind. The under the gun decides to raise it to $6, and everyone calls. Yep, everyone calls. The undergun +1, 2, middle positions, low jack, high jack, cutoff, and button decide to call. I have really good pot odds here, so I decide to put in the $5 since I only need to pay $5 to try and win 50. The big blind calls as well. The flop comes the 9 of clubs, 5 of clubs, and king of hearts. So I have top pair along with a flush draw again, which is great. I check it and it checks through all the way to the turn actually. The turn comes the 8 of diamonds, so now I have two pair along with a flush draw and I bet $15. The big blind and middle position call before the hijack raises to $40. Here, I have two options. I can call or re-raise. I decide to re-raise because I think it's a good spot to realize my equity if I'm behind and also try and stack worse hands. After that, I re-raised to $120 and then he quickly jams for around 135 total. I snap call, of course, and the river comes a 10 of diamonds. He shows me 8-5 suited, so I finally win a hand here and win a pretty reasonable size pot. Looking back, calling in the small blind is not good at all simply because even though I have good pot odds, my equity decreases when there's 9 people involved in the hand. So even though I get good pot odds, my equity is really low and it sort of just got lucky here. So the next interesting hand I get is when I'm dealt the queen jack of hearts on the button. Under the gun limps, along with under the gun +1 and the cutoff. I decided to make it $25. The big blind, under the gun +1, and cutoff all decide to call. So again, we have a super overinflated pot with a marginal hand. Lucky for me though, the flop comes the queen of clubs, 6 of diamonds, and 4 of spades. So pretty dry board, and I do have top pair here. It checks to me where I bet half pot, $60, and then it folds around to the cutoff, who jams for $120 total. I'm not folding here since it's only $60 more to call and I could have the best hand. The turn comes a 10 of spades and the river is jack of spades. So I do make two pair. I now still have two pair and he says I'm good. So I do show my hand and take it down. The last hand I play is when I get dealt pocket tens in the under the gun +2 position. Under the gun limps and I raise it to $20. The low jack, hijack, small blind, and limper call. The flop comes 4 diamonds, 4 of hearts, and 6 of hearts, so it's a great low flop for my pocket tens. The under the gun limper checks and I bet $60. Only the cutoff and the original limper decide to call. The turn comes the worst card in the deck, which is the ace of diamonds. The under the gun limper leads for $30. This is probably the most annoying spot since it's so small and you know he has an ace here 100% of the time. Here I just make a side call, put in the $30, and the cutoff decides to fold. The river comes with 4 of clubs, and he just smiles at me and checks it, and I check it, and he shows me the ace-6 of clubs. So yeah, I got a bit unlucky there. I could have won a huge pot, but he just decides to outturn me. So shortly after that hand, the people I came with tell me they're a bit tired and want to go home. So I rack up and cash out for exactly $600. So I come out with a loss of $600. Looking back, I'm not really disappointed in the way that I played. I just got cooler twice and made that horrendous call. But other than that, it's all good. So hopefully the next session will go a bit better. Thanks for watching my vlog, and please let me know on what you think about the hands I played and if there's anything I can improve on. Thanks. See ya.
So I'd say that was I don't know. It was an unsuccessful session for me. What about you guys?
Plus 390.
I'm down 400. And Marcus is down too, but Owen's up like $2,000. So like all in all, the car is winning, but like I'm losing. I ended up down 600. I don't really mind because I had those 2 coolers, but I was at one point working my way up. I had around 800 or 900 in my stack at one point, so I was pretty happy, but that 10s hand really messed me up. Oh well, better luck next time.